Hi, I'm going to try and show you how I do these little pleats in my weaving. I'm really happy with them, they're super fun. I'm doing sort of a rainbow, as you can see from my yarns here, and I'm working on the purple one at the moment. So this is a double weave where I'm keeping the layers completely separate except for where the pleat comes through. So the top layer is entirely brown warp on with a brown weft, but the two browns are slightly different. You might not be able to see it there, they're just slightly different. And then the bottom layer is a brown warp with a coloured weft, and I'll see if I can show you. Here you can see the bottom layer in all the different colours coming through. I'll show you what I've done to make these because it took a little bit of trial and error. I ended up getting a hint out of Doubleweave by Palmy Weigle, I think it's called. I'll put the name of the book in the description so you can tell me how on earth it's pronounced. So what I've done here is I've woven two separate layers with no intersection at all. I've got 14 picks of the brown on the top layer and only 12, 6 of each colour, so I've swapped colours underneath, 12 picks underneath, because I found that if I did 12 and 12, the bottom sort of bubbled out underneath a bit, which I didn't really like. So I'm going to show you what I do here. So first thing I do is I lift up I've got the bottom layer on shafts 3 and 4, so I'm just lifting that up now. For reasons that will become apparent in the future, I have a few extra threads on each side for the brown layer. So I'm just going to bring my shuttle up through here so that it's not sort of going around the outside. There we go. Okay, so now I have my shuttle in the right position and I'll start weaving. Please don't judge me for using the end of my cone as a bobbin. I just couldn't be bothered getting out my bobbin winder, and it works fine. So do I not have enough tension perhaps? Let's see. That'll work. Yeah, that'll be fine. I'm not aiming for perfection here, I'm just aiming to understand the structure. So I'm just going to weave 24 shots of the purple here while completely ignoring the brown layer, which is usually woven on top. Okay, please feel free to judge me for using the end of the cone in my bobbin. That was a terrible idea, do not do this. Okay, so I'm going to try and explain now what I do to create the actual pleat. So I've done 24 rows of the coloured, and it is its own layer. There is nothing woven underneath. So the first thing I'm going to do is put the shuttle back down the side here. And then I'm going to lift up shafts 1 and 2, which is where I'm weaving the brown. Now, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I actually have these on 2 different warp beams. So I'm lifting up the layer that I'm weaving the brown on, and I'm going to put an old DPN in between the 2 layers. So now I've got the layers intersecting again. Here the coloured layer came up and now the coloured layer is going back down again. I'll close the shed and I'm going to advance the coloured warp. Usually it works pretty well if I advance it by 2 notches. So here's hoping that is the same here. And then I can pull on this DPN and bring it forward, but it is not doing so. Did I only advance it 1 perhaps? Have to make sure you can count to 2 when you're weaving, hey? It's still not. I'll go 1 more. There we go. Okay, now I can bring the DPN all the way up to where I was weaving with 2 layers earlier. So it's bringing that really strongly forward. I'm going to leave the DPN there while I weave 2 layers with the brown, 2 picks, sorry, with the brown, ignoring the bottom layer entirely. So I'm just lifting up shaft 2. It's turning out quite well. Happy accident that I started weaving using this little inkle shuttle, and I'll show you why in a second. And now shaft 1. It's a little bit fiddly, these first couple ones. And it is still really close together. See how well that is working. So now I can take the needle out. I'm going to beat it forward with shaft 2. And now I'm going to actually just use this inkle shuttle just to press quite firmly there. And that is my little pleat, perfectly well positioned, nice and flat up against the other weaving. And so from here I will now weave a double layer completely separate again. I'll start with the coloured and the brown together for 12 and 14 picks and repeat the process again. So I hope that made sense. Feel free to ask questions. I have a few more colours to go, so I'll be able to do another video if I need to answer questions. Okay, bye.